Killed him. Oh, man. I feel like a witness.
Compound gain, 46.7% by weight. Compound gain.
Once you post your image online, you can't take it back. Anyone can see it. Family, friends, anyone. Remember, think before you post.
Hello everybody out there, welcome once again to Consumer Trends. I'm Errol Porter and this is TV 20. And of course, every month we bring you best practices when you're out there shopping and spending your money, and we want you to do it wisely and want to make sure we protect your pockets also. And in the process, we bring on great people to talk to us and give you great advice when out there spending your hard-earned dollars. Today we have LaSharie Billingsley, the Assistant Prosecuting Attorney for Cuyahoga County's Prosecutor's Office, and we're going to be talking about internet scams. I don't know about you, but I'm always on the internet. I'm always messing around. Even in my email, I'm always getting emails that tell me that there's a guy over in Egypt who has a lot of money for me. All I have to do is send him some information, and he'll send me that money. I believe him sometimes.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of you other people out there believe it also, but believe me, it's too good to be true. It's a scam, and that's some of the things that you have to deal with every day when you're out there helping us. Tell us your role with the Prosecutor's Office and also the Department of Community Development and Consumer Affairs.
Okay, with the Prosecutor's Office, I'm an Assistant Prosecuting Attorney in the General Felony Unit, which means I address crimes that have been committed in Cuyahoga County, that's Cleveland, as well as the outlying suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio. And with those crimes, it can be range from aggravated robberies, burglaries, identity fraud, identity theft, all the way to domestic violence. And I interact with the public as the victim to make sure that you're made whole. Additionally, I interact with the judges as well as defense attorneys and my coworkers to make sure justice is served. With regard to the Community Advisory Board, I am a member of the Consumer Advisory Board, and it's a position and community board that allows us to interact with the Consumer Affairs Department to make sure we're doing what's best for the consumers.
All right. Now, how much do you see of this on a day-to-day basis? People have just been scammed and been had when it comes to the internet. All this technology right now, of course, with the new technology, there are new thieves that are coming in. They always find a way. And people have taken this new technology. It's very scary how fast you can lose your information. They can steal your identity. Tell us some of the things that we should watch out for.
Well, with regard to prosecuting cases and internet scams, the most prevalent issue right now is people taking identity.
Right.
There's a lot of identity theft, identity fraud, and people using images that they've developed from profiles online in order to create a new profile and basically take advantage of individuals who are online surfing the net. Additionally, with regard to identity fraud and identity theft, a lot of that happens from the family and your neighbors. Right. Individuals who have access to your personal information, your mail, the information that you receive at work. Those individuals tend to be the first individuals to take advantage of your property, your debit cards,
right,
your email, all those sensitive pieces of information that can lead to lots of hours of lost time and lots of money lost for you.
And this new technology, once again, makes it a little bit easier. You know, before someone had to probably stand and look over your shoulder, something like that, to get some of your information. Now we're willingly putting our information on the internet. You know, when it comes to that, what some of the things I should watch for when I'm online using my credit card or something like that? When should I use it? When should I not use it?
Well, when you're online using your credit card, one of the best practices to do is to always use a credit card versus a debit card, bank card. When you're using your debit card, bank card, there's an entirely different set of laws and regulations for debit cards and bank cards versus those required for credit cards. So that would be the first line of defense, is to make sure you're using an actual credit card. Next, with regard to providing your information online, you need to make sure it's a reputable company. And with making sure it's a reputable company, you can Google that company, you can go to that company's offices, you can make sure that it's a true company that actually exists and provides an actual service or actual goods. Additionally, what is a smart practice to start doing is to think about it. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So especially for those emails where individuals ask you to send them $10,000 and they'll send you $1 million.
Right.
If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And in that case, that is true. Unfortunately, many of those crimes don't happen here in Cuyahoga County, so I don't prosecute many of those crimes,
right.
But I know that that is an issue, and I've heard through my family, friends, and individuals I interact with professionally where they have been taken advantage of by those scams.
Right.
So it's very important not to provide your bank account information, not to provide your debit card information, your credit card information, check numbers, nothing. The minute they start to ask you for money, that would be the moment that I stop interacting with that person.
Now, what is one of the most prevalent scams that you see that you have to prosecute on a daily basis?
Well, one of the scams that I recently prosecuted was an individual who took advantage of his mother. His mother had once given him permission to use her debit card, and she had given him the code. However, he took advantage of that, and one day when his mother wasn't paying attention, he took that same card and used it to withdraw some funds from her account without her knowledge. This individual proceeded to offer that same that same debit card with the PIN number to a female friend of his, and that individual proceeded to take funds out of her account without her permission. So now she comes to the bank to wonder why her bills are not being paid, why her deposit account balance is so low, and she finds out that her son has taken advantage of her.
I mean, does he get put on punishment? Does he get a timeout, or does she actually prosecute her son? Or what happens in a situation like that?
In this situation, once the victim, which was his mother, makes a police report, at that point the police officers will ask her if she'd like to press charges. If she'd like to press charges, it now goes to a grand jury. Once the grand jury decides to indict, it is assigned to one of the general felony unit prosecutors, such as myself. At that point, we speak with the individuals on the account, we speak with the victim, we speak with the defendant, in order to determine what's the best resolution in the case. And it's not a timeout. That's not the punishment.
Right. Now, there are some other scams also that are out there, advance fee frauds. Let's talk about some of those.
The advance fee frauds, that happens many times with mortgages, for example. A mortgage company is saying, if you give me this advanced fee, we will go in and work with your mortgage company to reduce your interest rate in order to induce your housing payments. And many times, it's a best practice not to provide any advance fees. If there is a company contacting you out of the blue saying, give me $500 and I'll make sure your mortgage is reduced, that should send up a red flag to you that this is too good to be true. Your mortgage company is in the best position to provide you those programs, and that is who I would speak with regard to speaking with those people. Additionally, the green dot cards, that's also something that is becoming a new issue. The green dot cards are, for example, a rush card. So that's a card that you can get from Walmart, and you can deposit the funds onto the debit card yourself. So it's your own debit card. Well, that operates just like cash. So if at some point you provide the information on that card and the PIN number on that card to someone and they clean out your account, it's just like cash. How do we track it? So it's very important with regard to the green dot cards as well. And anytime someone calls you, contractors who call you and they require money up front, be very leery of that and make sure you're looking into the company and making sure that it's an actual legit deal that they're providing you. And if you can, don't provide an advance fee.
And most of the times it's kind of difficult to recover that money once you've sent it off also. So you won't be getting that back.
Yeah, it can be very
right.
difficult to recover it, because if the individual is already poor and broke,
Right.
how can the court require someone to pay money that they don't have either?
Absolutely. You got to watch out there. One thing too we do frequently, of course, online shopping, auctions online, and what can happen there when you're online shopping and you're using services like eBay or things like that. What are some things we need to watch for?
Well, some things you need to watch for are false products.
Right.
What will happen at many times is that someone will provide a product, advertise the description for that product or good, and you purchase it, believing it to be true. And then you come to find out that the product that you receive is not the product you contracted to buy, or in the alternative, the product doesn't exist at all. Now, luckily, eBay and Amazon, most of those websites provide protection for the buyer. So they do have protection, and there is a recourse for eBay and Amazon. With regard to sites that are out of the country, be very, very careful, because by those individuals being out of the country, how can we as a prosecution office, or how can we as persons who enforce the law, how do we enforce laws against someone who's in China?
Right.
It's very difficult. So be very leery of the websites, I would say more leery of those websites that are based out of the country, where it's difficult to know who is the person in charge, who is the person you speak to, am I able to walk into a physical office to file my complaint?
Right. And then there comes me, looking for love in all the wrong places. What happens when I'm online, internet service, and there goes the girl who says, hey, I love your profile, I want to marry you, please send me a bunch of money so I can come to the United States and be your wife. Why do people fall for this?
Well, people fall for it, like you said, people
Right.
are looking for love.
Me.
Looking for love.
Looking for love in the wrong
In
place.
all the wrong places,
Right.
correct. And you really have to be careful, because individuals are there to take advantage of you at times. Now, is an individual taking advantage of you every time? I can't be certain. What I can be certain of is that you have to be very leery with your private protected information. Your social security number, guard it. Your date of birth, guard it. Your bank account and credit card numbers, guard them. Your PIN numbers, guard them. Because there is, you know, I did hear a story one time of a young lady who met a man online.
Right.
He was overseas and he was an engineer on a BP big rig, and he needed these funds to come in for his daughter because he couldn't get to her in time because he was so busy engineering on a boat off the shore of some country, out of the country. And she sent him thousands of dollars, I believe $6,000 she sent him for his daughter. She never heard from him again.
Wow.
Never heard from him again. And there's no way for us to collect on that. We don't know who this individual was. This individual may have pulled pictures from someone else's Facebook profile. This individual could have pulled pictures and information from anywhere on the internet, and this woman has no idea.
Wow.
And additionally, we can prosecute at times if there's enough information. There was one case that I had, interesting case. This young lady met a man online. After she met him online, they met at her home. She got ready. They went to the gas station. She left her keys and her cell phone in the car while she went to pay for the gas. She comes back out, he's gone.
Gone.
She runs to her house a block away, and she witnesses this man going into her home and carrying out her 60-inch flat screen TV.
Wow.
Now, luckily, she saw the license plate of this individual. Additionally, she saw what he looked like and was able to find him on Facebook. But if she hadn't been able to find him on Facebook, he would be gone.
Wow.
We would have no way to find him.
Hey, we got to try to save people from these nightmares. So we want to thank you for this information you're giving us. We're going to come back more. We're going to take a break, and we're going to return with some more information from Lingerie Billingsley. When we come back, stay tuned right here at Consumer Trends.
Our Better Business Bureau helped us avoid losing thousands of dollars to a loan modification scam.
My BBB helped me find a mechanic I can trust.
My BBB helped our company show support for high ethical standards in the communities we serve.
My BBB helped boost my company's online presence and brought in new customers.
Find out what your BBB can do for you at www.bbb.org.
Hi, I'm Cleveland City Councilman Zach Reed, and I want to invite you to the 12th Annual Family Unity in the Park Concert and Celebration Show. This year, our musical acts will be Stephanie Mills, the SOS Band, and Evelyn Champagne King. And once again, we will have one of the largest fireworks shows in the city of Cleveland. We have food vendors, we have free health screening, and we have a kiddie park for your young people. So come on out, enjoy yourself at Lukeyster Park on Saturday, July 25th at the Family Unity in the Park Concert and Celebration Show. See you there.
Hello, welcome back to Consumer Trends. This is TV 20. I'm Errol Porter, and I am once again joined by Lingerie Billingsley, who's talking to us today about the internet and internet scams. One thing that some of these crooks target, they love to target our senior citizens. What programs are in place to aid our senior citizens to not get scammed?
Well, one of the great places to go in order to assist our seniors is your local consumer affairs department, as well as the Ohio Attorney General's office. The Ohio Attorney General's office has numerous resources available to individuals so that they can receive assistance. Additionally, our Ohio Revised Code has an option for certain crimes to elevate those crimes if they are committed against a person who is considered elderly.
Now with that said, I know a lot of our seniors, they're not that computer literate. You know, so are there computer classes they can take to kind of aid them also in being smarter on the internet?
Absolutely. Various community centers and individual churches provide computer training classes. Many of those classes are also offered without cost. Okay. So your local library, your local community center, your local church, reach out to those individuals to determine when they're offering those programs. Additionally, many grandparents and elderly people have grandchildren. Right. And children. Utilize your children and grandchildren to assist you in determining what to do online. What happens is that our elderly feel very embarrassed. Feel embarrassed, you feel taken advantage of because you feel like this is something that shouldn't have happened. You should have made better choices. It's very wise to reach out for help, and maybe someone can still help you.
Let's talk about some of the ways that people access our information, like hacking. And of course, social media. There's a lot of irresponsible social media users out there. And what's some of the lessons learned with irresponsible social media?
With regard to irresponsible social media, it's very, very important not to transmit anything online on your cell phones that you would not want your grandmother to see. Okay. Do not transmit anything that is inappropriate. You don't know what the person on the other end is doing with those photos, as well as if the individuals are under the age of consent in Ohio, they can be charged with a crime and have been charged with a crime on many occasions. And that crime goes against the person in the picture as well as the person receiving the picture.
Other issues like computer viruses, malware, and spyware that people can attack you with also. How do we avoid that?
The way to avoid that is to not click on anything that you don't recognize. So if your friend sends you a link and says, hey, I found something wonderful, click on this link, make sure to send a quick response back to your friend and say, what did you just send me? Versus clicking on that link immediately. If you click on that link immediately, there is definitely the real potential for malware or something negative being processed onto your computer. And once those individuals have access to your computer, they have access to all of your sensitive information, and they have access to anything else that you wouldn't want deleted from your computer or your cell phone.
That amazing. That actually happened to me one day. I actually fell victim to a virus, and it said something about it. I clicked on it, and my computer went crazy, and you saw everything disappearing, and then it laughed at me at the end.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
When I say everything was gone, every picture, every file over the last 5 to 10 years was wiped out in an instant. And trust me, so I've been there. So I've learned now not to click on anything. Sometimes you get that one message that says, hey, I saw a very funny video of you. You click on that, you're in trouble. You know? So watch yourselves out there. Let's talk about rental fraud. And when I'm online, instead of physically going somewhere, I'm online with a person that supposedly owns property or a car or something here that I'm trying to purchase. Tell us about that scam.
Well, that scam can happen both ways, but speaking first from the individual who posts something, you know, for example, renting a property, and they don't actually have the rights to rent that property. The best thing to do is do a search on the county auditor's website of that address. You search the county auditor's website for that address, and then you do a Google search of that address. That way you can see what the property looks like, do those pictures comport with the pictures you've received, and you can also see who the owner is of the property. If the owner of the property is not the individual corresponding with you, you can ask that question. But the biggest thing to do when you're encountered with buying things online or renting things online is to make sure you meet with the person in person before providing any financial responsibility. Once you've provided that financial responsibility to that person, that check, that $500, and then you go to the property, it's not what you expected, or they do not have the rights at all to that property, what is your recourse? How do you find that individual that you only know by their email address?
Right. Now, how often are these guys or females, whoever, how often are they caught? You know, when they're doing this, is it kind of hard to really grasp hold of these individuals?
It's very difficult to grab a hold of an individual who only provides their email.
Right.
It's very difficult because anyone can create an email. I can go on to Yahoo Mail right now and create an email under any name that I choose. So that's the reason why you really want to provide and garner as much information from that individual as you can. Because the more information you're able to glean from the individual who took advantage of you, the easier it is for myself to prosecute and the easier it is for the local police department to investigate that crime.
All right, let's talk about ticket fraud. Same thing, and a lot of people, they go online and buy tickets now for events, and sometimes these tickets aren't real. So, and talk about sometimes the event never happens.
Correct.
Right. So you need to watch out for things like that. Don't relate it to companies, and the company may not exist.
Correct.
Also, so definitely watch out for things that are like that too. Can you real quick get some more information on anything that we may not have covered that you would like our listening audience to know about?
Okay, with regard to things that I have not covered, make sure you're always mindful of overly aggressive salespersons. Anyone who online is telling you this is a one-time only deal, you can only take advantage of it today, you can only take advantage of it in the next few hours, it's too good to be true. Tell them you need time to think about it. Tell them you would like them to send you the information in the mail. Tell them you'd like to meet over coffee to go over the details of the deal. Additionally, people want to make sure that they're mindful of going anywhere where they haven't first Googled the location. Right. Look at the location before you encounter that location. There is also the possibility of someone committing a crime against you when you show up with the $1,500 to purchase that new vehicle. Right. There's a possibility that they could rob you of those funds. So I would say just beware, be mindful, and make sure someone knows where you are.
Absolutely, and most of the time, don't go alone.
Yes.
Actually, take like 5 or 6 of your best friends with you.
Yeah.
You know? Keep yourself safe. You know, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and a lot of great information that you're giving out. And when something like that happens, if it does happen to me or anybody out there, first thing I should do, what's the first step I should take when I feel like I've been scammed?
Call the police. Call your local police department, make a police report. It's vital to get the jump on these individuals. Individuals move quickly. They already knew they were going to scam you, so they're going to have an escape plan. You need to make sure you're contacting the investigating officials so they can begin the investigation immediately, because if there is any video or other options available, that information can be deleted within 2 weeks, within the same day. Additionally, individuals want to make sure that they contact the Ohio Attorney General's office or the Better Business Bureau.
All righty. Once again, I want to thank you so much for joining us here today. And like always, when we come back, we're going to wrap things up with John Mahoney from our City of Cleveland Fair Housing and Consumer Affairs Office. Keep it locked right here on Consumer Trends TV 20.
Hey, what are you doing?
Just throwing your empty bottle in the garbage.
Don't you know plastics go in the blue container?
Mayor Frank Jackson and the City of Cleveland are committed to keeping your neighborhood clean and green through the use of the city-issued trash and recycling carts. It's safe, convenient, and mandatory. For more information, contact the Cleveland Division of Waste Collection at 216-664-3717.
How did you get to be so smart?
I had a good teacher.
For an in-depth look at local news and events happening in our great city, tune in to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up, where you get the whole story. Daily at 7 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. Only right here on TV20. TV20, we are Cleveland.
All right, welcome back, and as always, we have our grand finale with John Mahoney from our Consumer Affairs office here in the city of Cleveland. How's it going?
Doing well, thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm real quick, and I ask you about the internet scams. Of course, you're always on the internet also. Have you ever come across any of that on your own?
Oh, I just got one the other day,
Right.
something from Nigeria or somewhere, across the ocean there, and it said, dear gracious sir, and all these odd words that pop up, and how the FBI has confirmed that you have $2 million coming to you, and just send us your, bank account information and social security number and all these things. So you see them every day, and unfortunately, some people don't know that that's a scam. They start sending their information, and the next thing you know, their bank account's drained to different things. So. People want to believe something's coming their way, even $500, much less $2 million. So it can be very, they can be very persuasive with that. And if you want something to happen, you might think it's a sign from something, but it's not. It's no good for you.
Next time, I need that money, so next time just go ahead and send them what they want. We'll split that, all right? Real quick, tell everybody out there once again what your office provides and how they can get help anytime they need to.
Sure. The Office of Fair Housing and Consumer Affairs here at City Hall. We work for Mayor Jackson, and we investigate consumer complaints. So if you're working with a company, a contractor, a store that's in Cleveland, or you're a resident of Cleveland and you have an issue, you can give us a call. We work a lot like the Better Business Bureau. We try to mediate things that happen. So if the body shop and you have a disagreement on what needs to be paid for repairs to a vehicle or something like that, we try to get both sides to sit down and talk about it, come to an agreement. We can't always do that, but hopefully we can get both sides to work and we can come to an agreement that both agree to. And we know right now a lot of contractors out there doing people's roofs, driveways and things. So you want to get 3 estimates. Make sure you know what you're doing with them. Don't give them the money all up front.
Right.
Make sure they're registered and registered with the Building and Housing, so we know what they're doing. And just, it's your money. Be safe with it. Be smart. Ask questions. If they're giving you pressure to give them money, sign this, sign that, you might want to take a little time and maybe go with someone else.
Absolutely. If you are, like I said, if you have a concern, you can always contact your office. How can they contact your office?
Sure, they can give us a call at 216-664-4529. You can call 211, the first call for help, and if you can't remember our number, they'll give it to you, or call City Hall, and they'll get you over to us, and we can talk about what's going on. And give us a call before you have a problem. Right. If you think something's not right, it just doesn't seem right, give us a call. We'll try to talk to you about it. We'll look up the company with the Better Business Bureau, with the city, see what's going on, and maybe we can help you find a better company, or at least give you information on how to go about that.
Absolutely, appreciate that. And remember, the city of Cleveland has many programs and offices just like yours to keep us safe here in the city of Cleveland. You continue to have all the fun you want on the internet, but definitely make sure that you're protecting your pockets, your identity, and protecting your money and your well-being. And I'm so happy that you guys are here. We can continue to do the great works here for the city of Cleveland, our Consumer Affairs Office. We really appreciate it. Remember, very helpful information that we have shared with you today. And like you say, all things, just remember to have fun on the internet. And when you're buying, and you're spending your money, make sure you do it wisely and safely. And make sure you take all this advice that we've given you today and carry it on forward. And make sure you tell somebody also. All right, thank you for joining us today. This is TV20. This has been Consumer Trends. Well, thank you so much for joining us. TV20, we are Cleveland.
Thanks for watching TV20. We are Cleveland.
Car crashes, accidents. We're telling you
why be next.
So listen to us.
Don't drive and text.
Keep Cleveland safe and do not text when you drive.